What is going on, everybody? So I want to show and give a visual tutorial on how to play Saros. Okay, so to give you a little bit history of why this game is so special and why you should play it and pick it up and not give up, is because it's made by some of the most talented, most creative studios I've ever witnessed, and that's Housemark. Okay, now they make arcadey, bullet hell, quick paced style games. Okay, they make games like Super Stardust. Some of these you probably never heard of. Super Stardust, Alien Isolation, Next Machina, which was gorgeous. Next Machina turned into Returnal. They made a game called Matterfall. They got a lot of arcade style games up under their belt. And what I mean by bullet hell or shoot 'em up style games, or shmups as we call them today, games like this, Gradius. Okay, so this game might take you down an actual rabbit hole of these type of games and kind of like show you the evolution all the way from 2.5D side scrolling all the way to this full action packed 3D experience that we're getting in Saros. All right, so without wasting too much of your time, I want to get right into the tutorial. Now I'm going to start off in the base. You're going to see things that you don't have yet, and I'm not I didn't want to ruin nothing. Okay, not that bad. That's one thing I was going to say. I'm not going to go into everything because one of the elements of this game is the experience. It's figuring out stuff, or fighting things for the first time and talking to something for the first time. It's like, yo, what is that? It's part of the experience. So I don't want to ruin too much. I don't want to talk about too much either, and I'm doing that on purpose. Now I'm midway through the game. Haven't figured out everything. So I figured, let me do my tutorial right here because I still want to figure out stuff, and I want to figure out stuff with the community. All right, so here we go. So this guy here, you're going to constantly talk to. I'm just going to give these things short names, but this is basically Sotari's like main intel, main commander that you're going to constantly keep talking to with Mr. Devaraj here. All right, so when you open this thing up, I'm not going to show too much. I don't want to show too much, okay? But this is the leveling up. This is where you're leveling up. You can go to different worlds. You can set the world dial, which I'll come back to, and you got your status and your armors and everything else. Now, one thing I will show is that you will get these nice DLCs with these armor sets, and these are all pretty cool. We got different games, which I got my say so, but this one I was really happy with because I missed the one in Returnal. Had I known I was going to fall in love with Returnal as much as I did, I would have bought that DLC. Totally missed it, so I'm kind of making up here. All right, so you're going to talk to this guy every mission, and this right here also does something else, which I'm not going to ruin. So here it is. Now, every time you start, all right, the world is going to be different. Okay, like see this right here? When you first start, you probably won't have this here. All right, you might be saying to yourself, what the heck is that? Yeah, this game is real. When you start playing, it's go time. All right, so I'm going to drop down here to start the tutorial, and you can see some of the dangers that you got to pass. I did not expect that. Okay, so the controls. Again, some of the stuff you're not going to have yet. We're going to do the controls, right? I'm going to try to put it up here. So here we go. These are the main controls. Omni movement. Back, forth, pretty quick. He moves in the direction that you want him to, right? His movement is not real. This is not a real life simulator, okay? Omni movement. You got your jump. Okay. Now notice you can tap this. All right, so it is a time press. And then you have the dash. Okay, got the dash. Now notice that I'm dashing in a direction that I'm pointing. Okay, so whatever direction that you're pointing in, no control. That's the direction that you're going to dash in. Now you can change that at any point in time. All right, so now jump dash. This is something that you're going to need to figure out. Jump dashing. Okay, so that's your dash. All right. Your shield. Okay, so this is your shield, and it doesn't block everything. So I'm gonna say for right now, it only dodges 2 different type of bullets. Okay, and maybe more. Again, I don't know. And then you got your melee. But if you just hit the button, you get your melee hit. Okay. which does some cool things later on in the game. Now, shooting. I'm gonna drop my hand for this. I have a shotgun currently. This is your shot. He shoots in all directions. Okay. Now, the weapons that he can use and the weapon that you choose will make a difference in your style of combat. Okay. Now, alt fire, something that's very, very unique. If you hold down the L2 button slightly, you'll change the way the gun shoots. And notice you can see the reticle change. Okay. Again, this is very different from each weapon. So I'm barely pressing it down. Now he has this alternate fire. Now notice these particles are just sitting there. Well, what happened if I shoot again? Wait a minute. Shoot again? What the heck is that? What are these particles doing? Okay, so every gun has an alternate fire to it that will do something different. And then later on, because I thought this weapon was complete trash when I first used it. Looked it cool. But later on, you get better version. You're like, oh, now I see. All right. So that's the alternate fire. So get curious and check out your different weapons that you got. Now, if you hold the button all the way down, you have this nice, cool looking arm cannon that he does. All right. Now I have no power in this thing because I can't show you the ability. But this arm cannon here, you do it by holding down all the way. And it again, you can shoot it in any direction. Now, there's 3 different types so far to this arm cannon. He has just a straight blast. He has this particle blast that shoots a bunch of homies out. And he has this other one that he can hold, charge up, and shoot a blast out. Now, that last one isn't my favorite one. But again, you might like, your playstyle might completely be different. So that's pretty much how you play right there. Okay, so you got your movement, quick movement, your dashing, your melee, your shield, okay, that you got to hold to use. All right, now, when you're exploring the world, right, the world is these worlds are massive, right? So if you're just walking like this, it can take you a little minute. But here's a little trick. If you hold the dash button, he has this little speed run, okay? And that will get you around a whole lot quicker. All right, so that's the controls for now. What I'm going to do is cut the video here, and the next video we're going to get into more of the world collecting, get into some shooting, and get into some enemies. Again, this is my visual guide to Saros.